right, in tonight's video, what we're going to look at is the plus part in Photo Mechanic Plus. Um, this is the part that gives you all of the digital asset management type of features. It's the, if you look up here, if we're over here, we're in the navigate pane, and this is where you just go down through your folders and look directly at your photos. But this piece right here, this is the part that has all the searching, filtering, browsing, and collections built in. So what happens is when you put all the metadata onto the pictures, you attach it to them in the IPTC files, and that is ingested into the database, into the catalog. Um, all that data is stored and searchable, and it just allows you to sort and slice and dice and get right to what you need. So we'll give some examples here. So on search, we could type in Osaka, and there are photos that were taken in Osaka, Japan. Pretty cool. We can get rid of that. We could type in, let's see, Daytona. And there's images from the Rolex 24 weekend. So you can get, like I say, pretty narrow here. We can type in just things that were taken in Rock Hill. And there's photos in Rock Hill. And of course, these may be in different, folders and for different, photo shoots or jobs. So you can narrow it down even more by actually going in and looking at those jobs. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of this, get it back to all the photos, and let me get rid of some of these tabs up here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of narrow it down a little more using the filters. Okay, so now also I forgot to mention this, and I just checked the box, so let me mention it. If you check this box here, reuse search tabs, every time you search, so we'll go Tokyo and hit enter, you'll notice up here, it kept it in that one tab instead of opening a new contact sheet for each one. So that's what wanted to show you. Now, if we go back here to filter, okay, this is pretty handy. You can filter by a lot of different information. So for starters, now right here, you see you got a tab right here that points down and an arrow here that can point down. If you do this on the one on the left, it opens up everything that is selectable for color class. Whereas if you hit this one, it gives you a drop down as to how to narrow down that button feature. So like instead of color class, we could do EXIF data and the lens used. And here's all the lens used. So let's just go back over here and let's look at color class. And you can see we got 20,000 that have none, 885 that are red, 12 that are yellow, 9 that are green. So we could just hit these green ones, and there are just the green images, the ones that have been tagged as green. Same thing with yellow, and then same thing with red. So we could say, let's look at just things with no color selected. All right, so then we can hit this plus button over here, and it'll drop down another set of criteria. So right now we've got it narrowed down to 20,608 photos that have no color rating. So we'll drop this down and let's look for star rating. Or, if you want to do that, you can just go to rating, and here's your stars. No star, there's 20,599. And there's only 9 right here that have a 5-star rating. Okay, so we can change this to something different. Let's go to EXIF or IPTC data, and let's go to location shown, and let's go to city. Okay, nothing there. We ended up with nothing. So let's try that again. IPTC. Maybe it's in legacy. Yep, there we go. All right. So now we've got images in all the different cities that they were taken in. So if we want to see things that were taken in Cherokee, North Carolina, here's 2,400 photos. Or we can say, let's look at things that were taken in Akihabara in Tokyo or in Japan. Okay, and here's those images. Or Kerr Beach, North Carolina. So you can really search down and find your photos pretty easy, and you can add more of these. So, like if it's getting a little bit too crowded, you can just close them down with the down arrows on the left-hand side, and then you can hit another one. And here you could pick, something else. If there was something else. So you could keep adding these. I don't know if there's a limit, but you can put a lot of them in. So that's a quick and easy way to search your images. So let's take some of these out. All right, so now let's look at browsing the images. So this is a quick way to kind of look through what you've taken and just kind of cull it that way. So you can go by capture time, which is pretty cool because it does it, by month, or by year, then by month. And like here for September, if we drop that down, on the 1st of September, we took 343 images. On the May, we took a lot of photos in May. And you can see right here that there was literally a ton of them. So you can sort by month and day and year, or color class, EXIF data. So if you just want to see out of everything you've got in there, which lens is like, let's see, here's a 182.8 D lens, an old lens. And here's all the images. It was a graduation, and we used it there. Or like here's the old AFS 35 1.4 was used at that same graduation. You can see we've used all these Z lenses and even some iPhone stuff in here. Here's some with the 400-28 FL. So you can go by your equipment. We can get by used, or we can go to the model of camera. D850, Z8, Z5 II, iPhone 16 or iPhone SE. So you can really break it down. And if you have multiple cameras of the same make and model, you can also do it by serial number. So right here's the serial numbers. You can also do it by folder path. And you can see how my organization is set up on the hard drive. Okay, here's the actual drive. Here's the folder called images. Here's 2025. And then the images are broke down to different, larger level images. So like right here, you've got Japan. So every image we took in Japan is in this folder. And the way I was able to subdivide it by like the city it was in, like Osaka or Shibuya or Akihabara, that's done by the metadata piece of it. So this is just showing me what folder it's in. So we can also do IPTC data. So anything that if you filled this data, any of this data out, it's in there. So like here's keywords. Here's all the different types of keywords that are in those images that are coming out of the IPTC keywords field in the data in Photo Mechanic. So you can narrow it down to, if you want to see just the stuff that was taken at the zoo, there we go. Let's say this is pretty handy. All right, so we'll close that. And then you've got labels, that's the colors right here. And we got film type. So, like right here, it's mainly, for digital images. I don't think there's any scans in here. So there's no actual film types in here, but you could have that in here if you put that in as a metadata item. And then here's your ratings and then tagged, whether it's tagged or not. So, like I said, you can really browse substantially with this. I mean, any way you want to slice it. Now, here's an even cooler thing: is down here with is collections. Think of it as the and just a broader way to put together groups of images. So this could be something as simple as a project you're working on, your portfolio. Um, Maybe you want to have just the best images from your vacation, whatever the case may be. But like right here, so we're out of the working catalog here. We hit create and we type in what we want to do. So we'll type in zoo photos. Okay, we'll just call it zoo. Hit enter, and there's nothing in it. So what we can do is we just come over here and let's click a couple of images. All right, whoops. All right, so we got those 4 images clicked, and then we just come back over here to zoo and we do add selected items here. Now we have a collection called zoo. Now, the same thing that we could come up here and create another one. We could do um, a sub collection, and we could call this one kangaroo. All right, and we could just grab a couple of pictures up here, come down and do right click and add selected here. Now you've got 6 images in zoo, 2 in kangaroo. So you can kind of slice and dice this and set it up the way you want it for whatever makes sense to you and your needs. So it's pretty cool. And when you add the powerhouse functions of Photo Mechanic with all the tagging and metadata and the speed at which you can go through your images in conjunction with the digital asset management piece on the Photo Mechanic Plus side of the house, it makes it a pretty powerful tool. So I think this pretty much gets us through most of Photo Mechanic. There might be enough little tidbits that I can maybe add one more video, but I think next we'll just move to another package, and I think maybe do DxO Photo Lab 9 next. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Talk to you later.